Hey there, I'm Alan Matthews from Classical Guitar Shed, and in this video we're going to be talking about the difference between practice and playing. There's a big difference, and it helps to know which you're doing at what time so that you can fully do it. We'll talk all about it in just a second. If you enjoy this video, please do subscribe to this channel and click the bell for the notifications. So practice versus playing. We ultimately want to play the guitar. When we first picked up the guitar, we didn't say, I want to learn to practice the guitar. We say, I want to learn to play the guitar, because playing is making the music. That is what when we think about playing guitar, we're thinking about actually playing songs so that we have music that we can play and we can just enjoy playing it. And ideally, it's memorized and we can play it anytime we want. And it might not be perfect every time, but it's fun, right? And that's what playing is we're actually playing pieces. We're playing tunes, and whenever we do that, we're playing in real time. So when we do that, whenever we play a piece, then our goal is to play the piece. It's to keep going. It's to move it. It's to play expressively. It's to play as cleanly as we can, but we can't get hung up on all that, or else we'll be stopping every other note and trying to fix things and things like that. And that's not playing. That would be something that we might do in practice. Practice, on the other hand, is solving problems. Practice is solving problems. Practice is improving skills. So the goals of practice are to improve our skills and to solve the problems in our pieces so that we can play them when we're playing. So as we practice, we need to slow down. Listen to every little thing. If there's a problem, then we need to figure out what is the problem. We can ask the magical question that will open up all sorts of great things in practice, which is, what's going on here? And when we ask that question, then we can say, oh, this finger needs to do this, and I need to do my pull-off here, but it's not ringing out properly, so I need to be better with that pull-off. Well, maybe I will then, in my technique practice, do more pull-offs. And that's something that we're doing for this express purpose of improving our playing, improving our hands, getting better dexterity, getting better skills. Also, we could be looking at learning things. Practice could be learning chords and being able to switch between chords very quickly so that in pieces, when they come up, we can play very fluidly and very smoothly. And it doesn't sound labored. Instead, it just sounds like music. It just sounds like something that's coming out. So it's more of an experience instead of look at me play my chords, which is not so exciting for either us or for listeners. So instead, practice builds us up, it builds our skills, and it builds our abilities to play. Now, we need both of them. Most of the time, unless you're an absolute pro level performing artist who you've got your repertoire and it's just really the top 1/10 of 1% polishing, then there's still practice involved in that as well, but there will be more playing than practice at that point, perhaps, probably. A lot of professional musicians play more than they practice. But if you're not at that level, then typically it's going to be more practice than play, just because of the time constraints of regular people. Now, if you're retired or if you just have a bunch of time on your hands, you might spend a lot of time playing, and that's great. But practice time should be focused, it should be intentional. The goal should be very specifically to work at that edge of hard but not too hard. So we need to identify challenges, and we need to identify things that are not happening in a piece, and we need to practice them in different ways so that we can make them happen, so that we can get them clean. And so that means experimenting, it means using different practice techniques, it means approaching things in as many different angles and many different ways as we can. So that way, we're constantly getting better. We're getting these skills so that we can then play. We can also keep the playing in mind as we're practicing. So it's very easy in practice to lose the point of practicing. And the point of practicing isn't to practice. The point of practicing is to improve our skills so that we can play better. So it's important then not to let our minds wander, not to just do it as rote. I'm going to play my scales now, and I'm just going to do this, but I don't really need to think about it. And so instead, I can just think about what happened on that show I was watching yesterday. Can you even believe what happened on that show? And so then all of a sudden we play all our scales, but we didn't pay attention. And so then that's not great practice. Instead, we want to play knowing, why am I doing this? I'm actually practicing connecting the notes. I'm practicing getting my fingers to synchronize really well, getting my hands to synchronize. I'm listening to my tone quality. I'm listening to my rhythm and my timing and my volume. And so really zeroing in on those things and making practice, because in practice, we truly need to be doing something and be focused on improving skills and solving problems. So that way, whenever we play, we can just release all of that and we don't think about any of that stuff and we just play. And if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. So if it's not perfect, just like that wasn't perfect, then we can say what wasn't perfect. And then later in my practice, maybe I'll touch on those things. Practice is wonderful feedback for that, especially if we turn on the camera and just play, and then we can watch it back and say, okay, these are the things I need to practice. But as we're playing, isn't necessarily the time to do that. All right. I hope you've enjoyed this video, this exploration of the difference between practice and playing. The more you improve your practice and the quality of your practice, the more your playing will also improve. And it just gets more and more fun. And practice gets more and more fun because it's more engaging. We're doing more with it. Please subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.